Yo, what's up, bro? Dude, you good, bro? Aren't you about to present?
Gross. I'm just trying to fucking lay.
Oh shit, it's good.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yo, it's good to see you. Thanks for grabbing lunch with me. Yo, you look tired. What have you been up to? How are your classes going?
I'm so tired, bro. I've just been chilling, but I haven't been getting the most or the best sleep these past few weeks.
How are you doing? How have your classes been going?
You don't have to worry about that. I'm just dealing with everything, and that's what matters.
I didn't mean to overstep or anything, my bad.
It's all good, bro, but, like, you know, us men, we know how to deal with our shit.
I don't really know what you're referring to.
You know, sometimes just being a little tipsy and high helps me with feeling relaxed. I also found that it helps me forget about my problems.
So you've been drinking during the week?
Yeah, bro, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You know, I'm going to be a little straight up with you, and I hope you don't take anything personal or as if I'm attacking you. But I've noticed that you've been a little different in class and in general throughout the day. And I'm just saying this as someone who cares for their friends.
Bro. You tell me I need therapy or I need help, you're wrong. Men don't do that shit. I'm fine. I can deal with everything I'm going through by myself.
Okay, are you done eating? You haven't really touched your food at all, honestly, and I think you should put some food in your stomach. You usually don't eat breakfast.
Yeah, I'm
Alright, can we go on a walk outside? There's something I want to share a little bit about myself and my experience.
I mean, yeah, but like, I can't promise you that I'm going to change or anything, because I really don't need help.
So up until my junior year of high school, I was always told that it was rare and abnormal for men to seek help for mental health. Why are you crying? Was something I would hear from my teachers, and I would soon start believing that I wasn't supposed to express my emotions with anybody because I was a boy. I believed this up until my close history teacher came up to me one day during my junior year of high school, asking if I was doing well. I fortunately had a great relationship with my teacher that I felt comfortable sharing whatever was on my mind. I ended up telling him that I wasn't sleeping well, and that a lot of my science in class was about my personal issues, my insecurities, and difficulty to be in a classroom where I would be the only person of color in addition to my professor, who also happened to be Latino. I opened up about how difficult for me it was to socialize because I was always afraid of being judged by my classmates. I was so afraid because I looked different, spoke different, and had a different lifestyle than everybody in my class. It was hard to see myself fit in the atmosphere. Like you, Josh, I wanted to neglect the idea of seeking help until he told me that he had been seeing a therapist for over 10 years, which caught me by surprise because I had never heard of anyone going to psychological therapy as a man, especially my own history teacher. I know you might not feel comfortable telling me this, and that's okay. But I think seeking a therapist, perhaps someone from Mansour, where everything you tell them is confidential, is something you might want to think about. I'm still seeing my therapist, and I think it would be a great idea for you and a good starting point for you to find yourself once again.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I guess, like, I didn't even realize that guys like us needed help sometimes.
Of course, I'm really glad I could help, and if there's anything you need from me, I'm always here for support as well.
Will do. Thanks, man.
I'm JD. I'm a counselor with Mansour Counseling Services.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Do you want to tell me a bit about how you're feeling?
Yeah. I'm really embarrassed. To be honest, I've been dealing with mental health issues for a long time, but I feel like I can't talk to anyone else about it, or I'll seem kind of dumb and weak. And I just like don't know how to talk about these things. I definitely have like anxiety and depression or something like that. Uh, but I feel like it's stupid kind of, and I just need to man up and make it go away. You know, I told my Asian mom one time that I was just having trouble focusing and like felt really depressed, and she basically just told me to be grateful for what I have, and I just feel horrible about myself, and that makes everything so much worse.
I know you might not be feeling the best right now, but I hope I could give you some help. And you're showing a lot of strength by coming and accepting some help. A lot of people talk about how toxic masculinity makes it hard for men to reach out for help, but not a lot of people talk about the fact that race and ethnicity are huge factors as well.
What do you mean?
Toxic masculinity comes from the other side of misogyny's double-edged sword. It means that society has expectations for men to be aggressively strong mentally and physically, and men who don't fit are looked down upon. Admitting that you're struggling can feel like you're giving up your dominance and therefore your identity as a man. And men of color deal with racism and often more pressure to be perceived as masculine by those within their ethnic group and others.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I feel like my family has this vision of me that I'm supposed to be like perfect and strong, but also a lot of the time I feel emasculated by my peers as an Asian man, so like I feel this pressure on me from all sides at the same time.
Definitely, and I know a lot of people feel like this as well. You should talk to your other male friends of color about this. I think you'd be surprised about how understanding they would be, considering they probably experience a lot of the same things.
Okay. Well, by the way, I don't think I've had anyone be racist to me, but like what about my black and brown friends? How do I support them?
For sure, black and brown men are a lot less likely than their peers to reach out for support for their mental health. Specifically, black men at PWIs struggle the most with this, probably in part due to feeling of alienation and discrimination. College students of color experience a lot of racial microaggressions that can make their education experiences a lot more difficult, and these things often get unnoticed or brushed off.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And college is just really hard. Not having your family to take care of you is tough. And I, along with a lot of other people I know, cope with drugs and alcohol, for which there's a lot of access to it and a huge culture around. Because we don't really know how to do otherwise.
Yeah, you're right about all those things, and it's really amazing you could open up like this. Men definitely need to learn to talk about things instead of just coping in unhealthy ways like you mentioned. How would you feel about setting up a regular meeting time for us to just get together and talk about things?
Yeah, that sounds really great. Thank you.
The primary counseling service on campus is Mansour Counseling and Psychological Services, which caters to all students from the 5Cs. They provide a 24/7 mental health service, accepting phone calls as well as services for registering for in-person or Zoom counseling. They also host events all over campus, as I'm sure you've seen the emails for MCAPs. They also have much more information about self-coping methods as well as international hotlines that provide counseling services, such as the National Suicide Hotline and several others. The links and phone number for MCAPs are provided on screen for those looking for more information. We highly recommend utilizing this service for any issues that you may have during your time as a student at the 5Cs.